The K-pop industry is seeing a wave of comebacks and new releases this June. Today, we'll discuss some of the biggest K-pop headlines, music trends, and the upcoming BTS concert in Busan with David Kim, content creator and adjunct professor at Kyunghil University. David, welcome back.
Hello, glad to be back.
All right, we're happy to have you back, David. We're going to talk about all these new comebacks and releases, and we're seeing some veteran groups with over a decade of experience, as well as some newer acts that are still establishing themselves in the K-pop industry. So what do you find most interesting about the month of June?
Well, first of all, June is expected to be really packed, and the competition is going to be absolutely fierce because I've just done my research and it seems like more than 15 groups, and these are all big groups coming back in June.
Wow.
We have a massive lineup. So on top of that, the most interesting thing is, as you mentioned, we're no longer just expecting a playground for 4th and 5th gen K-pop idols that have been dominating nowadays. But this June, we're going to be seeing some very rare comebacks, such as 2nd gen idols like SHINee. We also have 3rd gen idols, absolute vocal queens like Mamamoo coming back. Personally, very excited about that as well. On top of that, while the K-pop scene nowadays have been predominantly very successful with girl groups in general, this June we're going to have a lot of boy groups coming back with massive fandoms, groups that you've all heard of like ATEEZ, Boy Next Door, Rise. So it's absolutely going to be fierce in terms of competition.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know we've been reporting as well on IOI's comeback as well for their 10th year debut anniversary. But girl groups in particular seem to be drawing a lot of attention. I've been keeping a close eye on this. I'll jump ahead and say I've been watching Le Sserafim as well as NMIX. Are there any teams or performances you're especially looking forward to, David?
Well, as a K-pop fan that has been standing for over 10 years, a decade, I personally am biased a little bit more towards Mamamoo because I feel like they are the absolute vocal queens. They are very, very talented, and it's very exciting as a fan to see the full group come back in such a long time. So shout out to Mamamoo. But as a content creator as well, I do have to keep up with the trends nowadays, which leads me to the absolute trend viral queens nowadays, which is Hearts to Hearts. And you've probably heard their song Rude with the iconic sound like, do you know what he said to me? You know, right?
I did a challenge actually.
Yeah. So yeah, they've absolutely have a massive success in terms of virality on short form platforms. So a lot of eyeballs are looking towards to their next album, which is coming soon. And yeah, people are wondering whether they can replicate that viral magic. And we've seen a lot of short forms just pop up with their star members like Ian or Stellar with their, you know, unique signature lines like the one I said before. And another point is that nowadays in the K-pop industry, there have been a lot of HYBE-based groups that have been dominating the sector. But now we finally have a traditionally very strong powerhouse SM coming back with Hearts to Hearts. So the competition is going to be very, very interesting to look at.
I'm very glad that you mentioned Mamamoo because I thought that many K-pop fans abroad would not be that familiar with Mamamoo. But I remember we did talk to an expert before abroad who actually specifically mentioned that he's a big fan of Mamamoo. So it's interesting to see that these groups, these earlier generation groups, and those vocal groups are also getting the attention these days. And you did mention the viral queens like Hearts to Hearts. So these catchy songs, hooks, and short-form challenges often go viral together these days. And some people even say that these short forms, because they are generating so much buzz, that it's even more important than the actual music performances. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's definitely true that nowadays K-pop groups cater more towards the short-form platforms with very addictive viral hooks and such. And we've seen recently very viral hits such as Cordace's Green Green. and also Eyelid's It's Me. You've all heard that before, right? So yeah, it's definitely important, but in my point of view, I feel like the traditional music shows still have a very big significance in the K-pop scene, just because at the core, K-pop is a fan-driven business after all. So if you want to satisfy the needs of the core fandom, you have to provide those kind of content that is really just diverse in matters such as, you have changing concepts, outfits, you can see the visual, technical, intricacy of the group itself. And also you can see like the ending fairies, which are the highlight and the cherry on top for these music shows. So not only short form success, but we have like the music shows and also other promotions and the fan meets, which are very important.
I think short forms are especially very good for people who are maybe not into K-pop, but they see the song or listen to the song for the first time on short forms. And in that way, they actually get to watch the original music video.
Yes.
I think that's the case in many cases.
That's actually how I get to know a lot of new bands coming up as well. And sort of talking about this as well, songs, sampling from older songs is not a new thing in music, but K-pop has been doing it recently and with a lot of, let's say, westernized or South Americanized sort of songs, such as Serapin's Bumpala. Now, it's got a mashup with Macarena, and for those who don't know, that was probably our generation, or my generation of the, let's say, Gangnam Style. That was so long ago. But like, why do you think this strategy is working so well in K-pop right now?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I think it's because of the instant familiarity. As you can see in Walter's response, he was absolutely excited to introduce Macarena. You can already bypass the unfamiliarity and, you can just get used to the song instantly, and there's a lot of nostalgia. A lot of older fans or older people could, get hooked into it very, very quickly. So I think that's one functionality of it. The number two would be the modern reinterpretation. So like, it's very interesting to see old songs like Macarena being revived and adapted into a K-pop concept. As BTS RM said, K-pop is like bibimbap. You mix all the genres with old and new, different languages. So Le Sserafim with Boompala is definitely doing something like that. So for the newer fans, for the Gen Z, for the Gen Alpha that are listening to this that have never known what Macarena is, they're getting a new reinterpretation. It sounds very fun and trendy at the same time.
I keep bobbing my head right now to the Boompala Boompala.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
But very interesting is that Macarena is actually a female name, while Boompala, I heard, is a made-up chant kind of thing. So it's very interesting how they reinterpret this. But on another note, David, idols these days seem to be busier than ever. So whenever they release a new album or even just a mini album, they have to go on tours and they have to create lots of different content. So what do you think about this constant activity? It probably has advantages, but maybe also some concerns.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about short form and digital platforms, and I think it's driven by that. The cause is the short form craze, I think, because in the digital era, we have to have nonstop stimulation. Unfortunately, the attention span has shortened a lot. So for the K-pop scene as well, too, they have to push out constant stimulation or content, aka music videos, short forms, challenges, whatnot. So yeah, that's one factor. And there's a lot of competition. As you can see in June, we have more than 15 groups coming back. So if you just rest for a while, like 3 months, 6 months, there's a risk that you might be forgotten. So it's become a very fierce competition field. So I guess the bright side would be you can maximize the profit in terms of the company's side, and also for the idols as well too. If they have good contracts, they can maximize their own revenue streams, and they could provide financial security, which a lot of idols need after their activities. On the contrary, for the darker side, I think there would be definitely side effects like burnout, or the burnout of creativity. A lot of people are criticizing nowadays that the songs are getting more factory-like because they have to push it out in shorter terms. So there are criticisms about that as well.
Yes, I've noticed with short form as well that once something small goes viral, all the fan pages post it, and you've suddenly got a reel full of the same post, which you can't escape from. But I guess that's just more publicity for the groups and the agents themselves. But let's move on to BTS. Now, David, you were lucky to go see them live in Seoul, but you are a Busan boy, actually. And that's what is coming up very soon after they just had a very good, very successful North American tour. Now, the Busan concert is ready and just around the corner. So looking at recent BTS-related news, what has surprised you the most?
I think the last time you went to Goyang, right?
Yes,
The last concert.
I went to their first concert, and now I'm going to the Busan one. Very, very lucky. But what surprised me the most from the world tour that's been going on so far is definitely that scene at Mexico, the palace we've all seen together, and also Las Vegas lighting up all in red with all the BTS signs. So yeah, the economic impact, the diplomatic effect they had, that was all just them being cultural ambassadors. And I think they've elevated their status from K-pop idols into like a next level. So that was just impressive to see, and also the sheer scale of people lining up and the merch selling out the stadiums. That is just all impressive as a whole. On top of that, you've definitely noticed that their tour name Arirang and their song Body to Body has the Arirang chant part. And armies and fans all over the world memorizing the lyrics of Arirang and singing it all over the world is just crazy if you think about it. So yeah, those kind of things were the most memorable to me. And also, just to add on a little bit, them coming to Busan after their North American leg is very impressive logistics-wise because they're coming backwards, essentially. And this is all because they're doing their festa, their 13th year anniversary after their military service. So they're coming back to their roots. They're saying thank you to their homeland. So it's very, very meaningful.
I can imagine that Busan will be turning into purple during that period. But David, so with this concert taking place on June 12th and 13th, Busan is already buzzing. Hotels are fully booked. And yeah, there are still last-minute preparations underway. So as you are lucky enough to go to Busan, tell us what you're most excited about. And do you think there's actually going to be a kind of difference in this concert in Busan this time?
Well, what I'm most excited about is saving money from the accommodation because I have my own house over there. So I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I've heard the price gouging incidents have been pretty bad. So I hope armies can get some affordable deals. I heard there are temple stays happening as well too. So yeah, on top of that, I think Busan is just a beautiful coastal city. Everyone visits after visiting Seoul. So like just that city lighting up in purple, red, and being filled with global citizens and armies visiting, and just imagining that scene at the beach and all that is just mind-boggling to me. It's very exciting personally as it's my hometown. And on top of that, because it's going to be Festa period for BTS, it's their 13th anniversary, very special. I am expecting there to be some exclusive or surprise events or stages from BTS. That's just my hope, but it seems very plausible, so fingers crossed. Yeah.
Okay, keep us updated on that. Enjoy the concert. And because we earlier heard from Seong that piting is also a word that many foreigners and K-pop fans also use. Let's say piting to BTS as well and to K-pop in the month of June. Thank you very much, David, for coming in today. And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to have you back here later this week.
See you soon.